Today's question says, should we talk about violence, such as mass shootings, in order to pray for the grieving families and ask for protection? At their age, would that cause unnecessary fears and anxiety, or is it good that they know about it? It's a really interesting question, and I think it's an important one for us to think through. Just what is the developmental appropriateness of exposing our children to the disasters that happen in this sinful, fallen world? When we have a kindergartner, there's no way that they're going to be doing calculus. We know that with a second grader, we can just call out what is 3 plus 4, and they can know that that is 7. And so I'm not saying that we need to pull in something concrete for our kids when we're thinking about talking about difficult situations, but we do need to think, okay, what is developmentally appropriate? So if there is a mass shooting, or if there is, a tornado or a hurricane or something like that, the level of detail we're going to go into with a 16-year-old is vastly different than the level of detail we're going to go into with an 8-year-old, or vastly different than the level of detail we're going to go into with a 5-year-old or a 4-year-old. So I think that anytime we're thinking about a difficult situation in our world and whether or not we should expose our kids to it, and then if we do, what level of detail we should give them, I think that there are 4 questions that we can ask ourselves to determine the developmental appropriateness for our children. So the first question is, what is the purpose of bringing this event to my child's attention? What would be the result of completely shielding them from such information? The third question, how much detail do they need to know? And then question number 4, how can I frame this in a way that points them back to the gospel? So again, anytime we're thinking about a disaster that happens because of the effects of sin, whether it is direct human sinful choice like a mass shooting or a war, or whether it's a natural disaster that ultimately does stem back from human sin, but not directly from choices of humans right now, we want to think through, okay, these 4 questions. What is the purpose of bringing this event to my child's attention? And then what would be the results of completely shielding them from such information? And if we have good reasons based on those first 2 questions to talk with them about this event, then we should ask ourselves, how much detail do they need to know? And then how can I frame this in a way that points them back to the gospel?